This is DANL 100, Programming for Data and Analytics. Chapter 9, Date Variable or True Date Variable, Date Frame and the List. Agenda. In this short video, I'll discuss the following topics. Topic number 1, a true date variable. Getting year, month, and day. Merge dataset by date. Generate a vector with true date variable. Topic number 2, date frame, recycling rule, attach function. Topic number 3, list variable, s.list function, list to matrix. Topic number 1, a true date variable. Type .c9, and so this is chapter 9. A true date variable. And so what is true date variable? Okay, so sys dot date is the date. Okay. The true date variable, my definition is if it's last day of December, and if we add 1, it will become January. Okay, so let's look at this simple one. Okay. Suppose let's call today. So today equals s sys.date. Okay, so this is today. Okay, today is March 15, 2021. Suppose today plus 40. Plus 40. Then we'll see corresponding April 24. Okay, so this is the simplest one. Okay, so this is today. Okay, and so let's look at some phrase. Okay, suppose x equals 20. So March 16, 2021. So this is a string. Okay, suppose we have string. How can we convert it into a true date? So let's call x2 as date. Okay, so this is a function. Okay, so format equals, and so this is percentage months, because the first number is months. Okay, and we use slash, forward slash, okay, percentage date, forward slash, and percentage y, percentage caps y. So this is year. Okay. Double quotation. So x2. So this is x. Okay. X is simply a string. Okay. So x2 is a date. Okay. And so let's look at x plus 10. So because x is a string. Okay. So and non-numerical argument binary operator. So because plus is so-called binary operator, we cannot add 10 to a string. Okay, so x2 plus 10, so x2. So x2 itself is a true data variable. Okay, so if because it's March 16, we add 10, it's March 26. So this is called, I call it true data variable. The format crucially depends on our input. For example, x2, x, and assume, let's use x equals 2021, 04, and 25. Okay. Suppose we have this format, hyphen, hyphen, or dash, dash. Okay. And so x plus 10, and because so type of x, and it is a character, it's character. Okay, so let's look at s2. Okay, as date. So this is x. Okay, x2, and type of x2, and it is a double. Okay, because this is like a standard case, and we don't have to use format. Okay, and so which type is a standard case? So let's look at x2 plus 10, because this is x is April 25th, then this is May 5th. Okay, so this is true date variable. Okay, so if we want to get a year, then we can use format. We know x2 is true date variable, so format. So if we want to get a year, percentage y, capital Y, format. Okay, format. Then we get 2020. Okay, and similarly, if we want to get months, then we get month. Okay, so if we want to get a day, we get day. Okay, so the format function, we can get year, month, and date. Just remember, okay, this is a string. If you want to get like integer, so we can use as numerical. Okay, as numerical, then we can get a number. So suppose we want n plus 3. So this is 2021 plus 3 is 2024. Okay, it is also true for the months. So if we want to make it numerical, okay, so like this time, so let's get 4, because x2 is April 25th, and also I think we can get as integer. Yeah, we can get this one, and get d. Okay, so another consideration is capital Y with lowercase y. Okay, suppose our x equals, and so let's use some March 10, 21. Okay, so instead of 2021, we use 21. Okay, if we convert it to the s date x, so this is percentage d and percentage n, percentage g, and percentage lowercase y. Okay, so x2 is 2021 March 10th. Okay, so let's look at what happens if we use capital Y. x2. Okay, as capital Y, then it will get a wrong year. It's 0021. Next, let's look at how to get a sequence of dates. Okay, so this is C9 4. Okay, you type dot C9 4. Okay. So this is beginning days. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so we have to use some like a true date variable. Okay, so this is beginning day. We define a date variable, and the sequence beginning day plus 10. Okay, and so let's make called A. Let's use today. Okay, 6 date. Okay, so this is today. Okay, suppose we add 100. So this is x equals sequence. Okay, so this is a plus 100. Okay, and y equals 1. Okay, so let's look at x. Okay, it's very important. Okay, the first one is true data variable. Then the sequence will be all the true data variable. Okay, so let's look at the x1. So let's look at randomly pick up 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, x4. Okay, so x4. So that's x4 plus 40. Then we know this is a true date variable. Next, I'll show you how to generate a column with a true data variable. Okay, there are several ways to get the data. you can go to Yahoo Finance, then you enter IBM as the ticker symbol, and you download the monthly data. Okay, to make our job, my job, it'll be easy, and you can just retrieve the CSV file from my web page. So x equal read CSV, okay, http data yyyy.com. So this is data CSV. So this is IBM monthly.csv. Okay, and to make our job easy, and we retrieve. Okay, so x read.csv http data yyyy.com data_csv IBM monthly.csv. Okay, if we type head, okay, so this is our data set. Okay, DIN, and we have 704 number of row. We have 7 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so let's look at this number to see whether this is a true data variable. Okay, so so we have several ways to refer to this one. The easiest way is x 1 1. Okay, 1 1, because so this number is the first row and first column. Okay, first row and the first column. So we use 1 1. And suppose we use a. So a equals 1 1. A plus 10. And again, so this is not a true data variable. We cannot plus 10. Okay, so we can use as date a plus 10. Now it's okay. Okay, so this is January 1st, 1962. If we use as date and a, we define this true data variable, then we can add 10 to this, the first day of our data set. Okay, so our task, our job, our next task is to produce a true data variable, this column. Okay, I'm going to copy this part to my notepad. Okay, and I just show this one. So we retrieve the data from a remote location. Okay, so this is a equal this one. Okay, then we use, okay, so actually we use this one. Okay, and the first one, we are going to generate a column. Okay, so this is n equals and number of the row, and actually we know is 704 is mentioned dimension. Okay, so this is number of the row, and we generate. Okay, and suppose we use dd. So this is our, so this is, so let's define sys date. Okay, so this is I call the placeholder. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's very, very important to define this dd as true data variable. Okay, so today is simply a placeholder. Okay, okay, so this is our procedure. Okay, so this is for I in 1 to n. So this is our this one. Okay, and we know we always choose a. Okay, so let's call I know is I row, and first column. Okay, first column. Okay, then so I call it B, and of course we can write, we combine them together, but I'm trying to make this very, very clear. So this is S date, so this is A. Then we use dd, and so dd, so this is I, B. Yeah, so this is our, okay, and first I'm going to make it blank, make it clear. Okay, so dd, and we define the first dd variable as date, a true data variable, and this is very important. Later I'll show you. If I define some now, you see a true date variable. Okay, then we run our process. We retrieve a from i's row first column. Okay, and here we can also use an x $date and I. So this is the second way to retrieve corresponding variable. So let's see. Yeah, this is DATA. Okay, so DATE. Okay, so let's run it to see what this. Okay, so head x head. So this is my DD. Okay, so let's look at DD. DD1. So DD1, that's plus 40. Now I truly got a date variable. Okay, then I simply combine them. So I'm going to make it. Okay, so this is y equal data frame. So this is DD, and remember I have to 7. Okay, so n equals number of column. I know it's 7, but it's a good idea to, instead of hard code 7, and we calculate number of columns. So this is from 2 to n. Okay, because the first column will be our true date. Okay, and then we can paste it. Okay, so let's look at y. Sorry, so this is comma 2. Okay, so this is from second column to m column. The previous ones only can consider row. So this is, let's get so this is dimension of x, dimension of y. So we have same dimension. Okay, so let's look at y, and so this is y. So let's look at x. Okay. So obviously the first column, the number is the column name is not correct. Then we can use column names y, and then we get column names from x. Now we have the same structure. So this is head, we have date, open, high, low, and even the design, you see, is almost identical. So this is 1962-01-01. Y is 1962-0. This column is true data variable. Okay, to verify, we can use x $date and 1 plus 20 times 10. Then it's not, we cannot simply run it. Okay, so if we use y $date, first one we add 10, because first one is January 1st, it's become January 11th. Okay, so this is the first way, and we can generate a DD, and as first step, then we have write a loop, and we use as date variable. Okay, next one I'm going to mention the easy way to do it. Okay, before so let's try this one. So let's suppose if you look at here, this is from I to 1. Okay, from I to n. Okay, it seems this is doesn't matter. So let's use an LL. Okay, it seems doesn't matter. So let's run it again. Okay, so DD, I'm going to generate called Y2. No, I don't have to generate Y2. Okay, so let's look at DD. Okay, so let's look at the DD. Then we have the very strange data format. Okay, the reason is we have to use a true data variable. Actually, you see, if we can use as date, suppose this is 2021 and 01, 03, 02. Okay. So this is like a placeholder. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's look at whether this DD is a true data variable or not. Okay. So DD plus 30. Yes, it's true data variable. Okay. Because this is true data variable, then we can run this one. Okay. And then we get DD 40. Okay, DD 40 plus 50, and this indeed a true data variable. We know we have x, so we have x column. Okay, the first column is a data variable. This is not true data variable, and we can use write a loop to generate a true data variable. Okay, actually we have a simple method to calculate just one line. Okay, so let's call DD2. Okay, DD2 as date. Okay, we simply put this column inside. You see, just one line. Okay, DD2, and we generate true. Okay, I repeat. Okay, so this is s dot date. We put the first column as input variable is x $data. Okay, so if we look at DD2 1 plus 50, and we know it's January 1st, then it's February 20. This indeed is a true date variable. Okay, so this I call the method 2 is a much easy way to get a true date variable. Topic number 2. So let's look at the data frame. Type .c9. .c9. So this is a data frame. Okay. So let's recall. Actually, the data frame is quite similar as cbind. Okay. So let's enter x equals 1 to 10. So x is a vector. We trying to combine two vector to a matrix. Okay, so let's set seed 1, 2, 3. So y equals random from normal distribution and 10. Okay, we have x has 10 data points, y also have 10 data points. Okay, suppose we use a c bind x and y. Okay, we combined x with y. Okay, so let's look at the type of A. Okay, we combine together by use cbind. Okay, so type of A, and its double is matrix. Okay, we look at whether it's a matrix. Yes, it is a matrix. So let's look at whether it is data frame. Okay, and obviously it's false. Okay, we use cbind to bind x and y. Okay, then the output will be a matrix and it is not a data frame. Okay, so this is A. So let's call it B. We use data frame. Okay, so this is B, and we can use data frame. Okay, okay, we print B and print A. Okay, so this is A. We know A is a matrix, and we use B. So B, we use data frame, data dot frame x and y. Okay, obviously B is not a matrix, and B is a data frame. Okay, this is data frame. So B, yes, it's a data frame. So A is a matrix, B is data frame. Okay, okay. So let's look at. So this is quite similar. Okay, data frame, cbind, and quite similar. Okay, so let's discuss the recycling rule. Okay, so x we have 10 value. Assume y we has for the y it has like 5. So random norm 5. Okay, so this is y value. Okay, now let's combine them together. So let's call it B2 date frame. So this is xy. Okay, B2. Okay, so if you look at 1.224, because we know y has only 5 values. Okay, then each value will recycle twice. It's 1.22, 1.22, 0.359a, 0.359a. It will recycle. So this is called recycling rule. So let's generate y. It's only 3. So instead of 5, we have 3. So x has 10 value and y has 3 value. Okay. Now let's try to combine them together. Okay. Then we are going to receive an error message. Why? Why we got an error message? Because it's 10 divided by 3. So the number of the longer vector, the number of the data points of the long vector divided by n from the short vector is not an integer. 10 divided by 3 is 3.3. It's not an integer. Then we are going to receive an error message. Okay. Okay, so let's make this one y. Assume it's 5. Okay. Okay, so let's data frame xy. So let's use haha. Okay, so let's call it B2. So B2. Okay. So we have X colon, we have B colon, and we have third colon. Okay, then we can use column name. Okay, so before I use column name, so let's look at cbind, the difference between cbind. Okay, so if we use cbind, we use xy and haha. Okay, you see the difference? If I use data data .frame, so x colon is still number. Second column is still the number. Third column will be character. However, if we use cbind, and so this is a matrix. Matrix, we only have one type. Okay, x is number, y is number. However, the third one is a string. So everything become a string. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the B2. Okay, B2 will be, we use data frame. Okay, so we can use column names. And suppose this is B2, column name, we use the data 1, and data 2, and data 3. Okay, we use data 1, data 2, and data 3. So this is B2. Okay, if we want to look at the second column, data 2, so we can use B2 and comma and 2. Okay, because anything before on the left hand side of this comma refer to the rows, because we choose all the rows, so it's nothing, it's empty. Okay, because we choose the second column. Okay, then we enter 2 after the comma. Alternatively, we can use $sign. Use $sign data 2. Okay, and so this is the first method to refer to a specific column, and so this is second method. Okay, so if we type data 2, and we'll find data 2 is not defined. Okay, object data 2 was not found. Okay, so there's a function called attach, attach, attach B2. So this is a variable name. Now we can, if we use attach, we can make the column available and outside B2. Okay, then we can use data 3 or even data 1. Okay, the opposite of attach is detach. Okay, so this is when we use detach, then data 2 and data 1, data 2 will not be available. Okay, actually, I seldom use this function. I always use B2 $data 2 or even use this one. Okay, because the textbook mentioned this function, and it's a good idea I mention it as well. Okay, so this is about data frame. The last topic is about list. Okay, simply type .c9. Okay. Okay, so actually here, one example of the list, I think most of the time for me, I'm trying to identify the data contained in the list. I'm trying to get the data out of the list. Okay. So actually the output of read.csv itself is a list. Okay. So let's look at x equals read CSV. You can download the IBS monthly updated data from Yahoo Finance. Okay. So HTTP, or you can just download the data from my web page. Okay. Data.csv. So this is IBM monthly CSV. Okay. Oh. Okay. So dimension of X. So we can use type of X. So actually it's a list. If we use class, and it is a data frame. Okay, so we use head X. So usually I'm very comfortable working with data frame. For this case, I feel very comfortable even data frame is part of list. Otherwise, I feel uncomfortable working with list. Usually I try to convert a list using S matrix or use matrix. Okay, so let's look at one example, .c9, and so this is .c9 and 21. So this is one example of list. Okay, so we can use we generate list. So let me copy and paste it. Okay, the structure is really confusing. Okay, so this is list, name is John, and spouse equals Mary, and number of children is 2, and children's age is 14 and 9. Okay, so how many variable? 1. How many data points? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if we type LENGTH then we can see we have 4 data points. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, the first one is, so this one is names John. Okay, so usually most of the time we trying to get the John. Okay, then we can use, okay, so we can use like this one. Then we get John. Okay, then suppose John and so this is John, and alternatively for the second one, so trying to compare the difference between 1 square bracket and 2 square bracket on the left and 2 square bracket on the right. Okay, so usually I try to use x1. Sometimes I use square x1, and occasionally I use these kind of things trying to get the data out of a list. Okay, And another function called onList. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, so let's treat as A. Okay, so this is data frame A is false, is matrix, is still false. Okay, type of A. It's character. Okay, so this is length A. Length A. So we have 5. So A1 is named Jones. Okay, still. Okay, I don't like this one. Oh, it's quite similar. Okay, and again for the list, most of the time we're trying to uncover, retrieve inside information. It's not straightforward.
Shutterstock Music.